It's been a long week for Hasan Piker, and somehow it keeps getting worse. What started as a simple election party turned into one of the most humiliating nights of his streaming career.
Done.
What do you think it means that this guy ran as a socialist and anti-communism didn't work to stop him? That's biz.
Yeah, I think we are in the heart of the imperial core. This is the country that defeated the USSR, unfortunately. And the reality of the matter is, there's a lot of antagonism. There's no class consciousness in the United States of America. It's one of the things that I try to address every day with my commentary. And I will say this. The conditions have deteriorated so much that everyday Americans, in spite of their lack of class consciousness, are finally arriving at the conclusion that perhaps there is an alternative out there. There is an alternative that focuses on them as opposed to the interests of the billionaires and the millionaires, as opposed to the interests of the capital owners. And, I mean, you can't help but notice that. You can't help but feel at least a little bit of excitement around that.
Pardon it. You're getting to be here. Many of you probably also door knock, you canvas, and this is the fruits of your labor. It's me, the dipshit, the asshole drinking alcoholic beverages. Oh my God. All the fucking haters on like it suck my dick too. Oh my God. All the fucking slop tubers.
Cameras were rolling, the drinks were flowing, and the energy was high until Hasan started talking about the Soviet Union. He was half joking, half ranting about workers' rights, but the crowd wasn't laughing. The clip hit Twitter within minutes, and by morning, it was everywhere. Hasan supports the USSR, they said. Another headline, another storm. People at the event say it got even more awkward off camera. Hasan tried to move upstairs for a calmer vibe, only to find himself locked out. Rumors spread fast. Some said he got banned from the after-party, others claimed he left in anger. Either way, it looked bad. What was meant to be a chill election night with friends turned into a PR disaster. And as always, the internet made sure it didn't stop there. By sunrise, YouTube commentary channels were already rolling, with titles like Hasan's Meltdown at Election Party and Twitch's Socialist Loses It Again. Even people who usually stayed neutral were calling him out, saying he's lost touch with reality. But Hasan didn't take it quietly. The next day, he went live and started firing back. He said the whole thing was taken out of context, that people love to clip his worst moments and ignore everything else. But you could tell this one hit different, because this wasn't just another random Twitch rant. This was personal. People he considered friends had shared the clip. Some even laughed about it on stream. Hasan felt cornered, like the same people who used to defend him had turned his words into content. And when chat started spamming the phrase slop tubers, he snapped. He started calling out the whole content ecosystem, saying everyone's become addicted to drama, that smaller streamers feed off his name just to stay relevant. It was raw, emotional, and honestly kind of tragic, because underneath the frustration you could tell he was hurt. Not just by trolls, but by the realization that he's no longer untouchable. For years, Hasan was the loudest voice in the room, the confident, unshakable face of political streaming. But that night reminded everyone, fame on Twitch doesn't make you invincible. One clip, one bad moment, and the mob moves on. Hasan's always said he doesn't care about what people think. But if you watched that stream, you could tell. This time, he really did. Hours passed, and Hasan kept streaming, pacing around his room, hands on his head, trying to explain the unexplainable. The chat alternated between support and chaos. Some longtime fans begged him to log off and rest. Others egged him on, throwing fuel on the fire. The mood was tense, and every sentence he spoke seemed to make things worse. Then came the moment that sealed it. A message from Mizkif popped up on screen. It wasn't public, but Hasan read parts of it out loud. Mizkif basically told him to chill out and stop feeding the drama. That alone could have been fine, but the tone hit Hasan the wrong way. You could see it on his face. He felt like even his friends were patronizing him now. He muttered something under his breath about fake allies and people who switch up the moment it's convenient. That was it. The dam broke. Hasan unloaded, not just on the haters, but on the entire Twitch scene. He called out how people act like they care about morals and justice, but really, they just want clicks. He said the whole system is built on hypocrisy, that streamers pretend to be a family until the algorithm decides otherwise. Meanwhile, clips of his rant were already circulating. TikTok, Twitter, Reddit. Everyone had an opinion. Some said it was the most real Hasan had ever been. Others called it a full-blown meltdown. Even Asmon Gold, who usually tries to stay diplomatic, chimed in, saying, "This is why I don't hang out with Twitch people anymore. Too much ego, too much drama." But what really hit hard came later that night, when Ethan Klein finally responded. On his podcast, he didn't hold back. He said Hasan was acting like a child, that he needs to take responsibility for his own image. And he didn't stop there. He replayed the viral clip again, frame by frame, making it a full segment. Hasan watched it live. You could see the disappointment, the look of someone realizing a friendship might be over for good. That's when he said it. "I thought these people had my back." And then silence. For a moment, the stream went quiet. No chat spam, no sound effects, just Hasan staring into the camera. It was the kind of silence that says everything words can't. Because deep down, even if he'd never admit it, Hasan Piker isn't just angry, he's lonely. When you build your world on a stage, surrounded by millions, you start to forget how fragile it really is. One slip, one friend turned critic, and suddenly the spotlight feels like a cage. He ended the stream after midnight, no outro, no goodbye, just shut it down mid-sentence. For someone who's always in control, it was the most human moment we've seen in years. The next day, the internet was already dissecting every second of it. Clips titled "Hasan Breakdown Live," "Ethan Klein Destroys Hasan," and "Mizkif Exposes His Friend" were all over YouTube. People who hadn't watched a minute of Hasan's stream in months were suddenly tuning in, desperate to see what had finally cracked him. And here's the irony. The same people who mocked him ended up profiting off his pain. Reaction channels, commentary streamers, Reddit threads, all feeding on the same emotional collapse like vultures. Even Sneeko went live, mocking Hasan's victim complex while replaying the stream with his chat-spamming El Hasan. It was the same pattern, over and over again, a cycle where outrage becomes entertainment. But what most people missed is how deep the betrayal actually went. This wasn't just a one-off fight or a clip gone viral. It was years of tension, passive-aggressive jabs, and unspoken resentment between creators who once saw themselves as brothers in arms. Hasan and Ethan weren't just co-workers, they were supposed to be allies. They stood side by side through controversies, cancellations, and culture wars. And now, that entire alliance had burned down in front of millions of viewers. Behind the scenes, things got even uglier. Sources close to both streamers claimed private group chats were leaking, messages where old friends were taking sides, spreading blame, and plotting their own responses. Hasan's mods were banning longtime subs who brought up Ethan's name, while Ethan's fans started calling Hasan Hollywood Hasan, the influencer who forgot where he came from. And Mizkif? He found himself trapped in the middle. He tried to stay neutral at first, but neutrality doesn't exist in this ecosystem. When he refused to take a side, both camps started turning on him too. He even hinted on stream that if people knew what really happened behind the scenes, the internet would explode. That one sentence sparked thousands of theories, from leaked DMs to secret deals to broken trust over sponsorships. By then, it wasn't about truth anymore. It was about narrative. Who could control it? Who could twist it? Who could survive it? And once the internet picks a villain, the damage is done. Hasan might still have his audience, but the tone had shifted. No longer the charismatic voice of Twitch politics. Now, he was the guy everyone wanted to see fall. But maybe that's what makes this moment so fascinating. Because in the streamer world, downfall isn't the end. It's content. And content is forever.